The last class we have finished the quality process as well as the documentation, why it is required, how it is done, what are all the different types of documents, everything in detail. So one part of it is left out in the fourth module, that is planning. I'll send the recorded video of it because it's a theoretical part. And one more thing is you have already studied that with respect to your software engineering part. So it's a just a revision. So I'll just send you the videos. I'll post it later. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next topic, that is your fifth module. This fifth module, what it is suggesting us to do is it will be doing with respect to your integration testing part. The levels of testing as well as integration testing. Integration testing and system testing will be happening with respect to your entire scenario. How it works, how it will be taken care, that's what we need to just study in the entire fifth module. It mainly concentrates on your integration testing and the system testing. What is integration testing? How many different types of integration testing is there? Everything in detail, along with an example, we'll just learn it. So this is what your fifth module is all about. So in that integration testing, so it will be occurring in two textbooks. The first integration testing that has been listed in the syllabus is pointing to the textbook 2, which we were studying in the last class. No, the same particular textbook, you need to just have it. Another particular integration testing along with the levels of testing is that is with respect to your textbook 1. So in this, the chapter number 13 will be the thing that we are just looking into. We are just concentrating in this particular class. Okay. So with respect to that integration testing, that's what you can just take it. Now there is a one particular scenario has been given. The scenario says the Mars Climate Orbiter mission. What is this Mars Climate Orbiter mission? They have posted several particular things. We'll just check it out. What are all these particular details of it? Why it is told, we'll come to know later. Mission failed in September 1999. Completed successful flight for somewhere. Okay, it will be somewhere around some billion kilometers they have traveled. 41 weeks flight duration. Lost at beginning of Mars orbit. An integration fault. That is what they have just analyzed it. What is this integration fault? Lockheed Martin used English units for acceleration calculation, that is pounds, and Jet Propulsion Laboratory used metrics called as newtons. This is where the problem arises. The NASA announced a project with US dollar 50,000 to discover how this happened. Now, what we can come to a conclusion. So whoever has designed a different particular scenario, once you want to make it as a single unit, you need to check with each one of the compatibility. If the compatibility is not matching, then always it will be a failure. That's what it happened with respect to your Mars Climate Arbitrary mission. What that particular mission was, it was just checked for how the climate will be available in the Mars and whether it is uh, very much or whether it can the human beings can live in the Mars or not. Just to check for it, they have provided or they have just initiated a mission. In that particular mission, what they have done is they have just integrated two different terminologies. That is, one is with respect to your Lockheed Martin, who will be using the English units for acceleration calculation. For that pounds he has used it, whereas Jet Propulsion Laboratory, they are one more particular unit who is a part of that particular Mars climate arbitrary mission. They have decided or they have used the metric in terms of newtons. So there is a conflict arising. So they have not checked for it. They thought that everything works similar, so they just launched the project. But ultimately, it was a failure. So this is what they have done. See, they have announced. The NASA has announced a US dollar of 50,000 project. 50,000 US dollar has been invested on the project to check where it went wrong. So this is the problem that we will be facing if we don't integrate it properly. So that is a major agenda. So that's what the goal is and the purpose of integration testing is. presumes previously tested units. That is whatever the unit testing that you are making it, once you are integrating it, you need to test it once again, and thinking that whatever it has been happened with respect to your unit testing, in the similar fashion it will be operated with respect to your integration of the two modules also. It is not the system testing. You're not testing the entire system, you're testing one block by one block. If you just integrate it, how it will be functioning. Test functionality between unit and system levels. That's what it will be happening. Next, basis for test case identification. This is very important to know whether it is a basis for the test case identification. Of course, yes, because once the unit testing is happening, once it comes to the integration testing, there are a lot of modules available over there. Each module should give its own particular result. So for that identification, it is very important to know what this particular thing is all about. Emphasis shifts from how to test and what to do test. What to test. See, we have already finished how to test. We know how to test that particular thing. Now, what is the thing that I need to test it? Whether it is one single particular function that I need to test, or the entire particular application itself I need to test it. So that is very important. So that is where your model-based testing comes into picture. Model-based testing is nothing but, okay, you have got an idea about how your entire one particular single program works. If you just integrate it, how it will be working. For that, one model is required. That is nothing but the block diagram, which will be telling you where it will be just going to have the input, the first input where it will be flown. From that, where it need to be next flown to the other particular party, like that you need to have it. That is nothing but your model-based testing is all about. So in that particular model-based testing, it plays a vital role. What to test? It is the entire model that I need to test, not the single particular unit that I need to test it. So it purely depends. Okay. So testing level, assumptions and objectives. What are all the assumptions that we make it, and what are all the objectives or the goals that we will be achieving it? Unit assumptions, that is unit testing assumptions. All other units are correct. Compiles correctly. So every particular module, each module, you'll be just testing it separately, and each one of it will be a correct one. What is the goal of it? Correct unit functionality, coverage metric satisfied. That means all the particular area, everywhere, you'll be just going through with respect to the data that will be flown properly. Integration assumptions. Unit testing should be completed. Before applying the integration testing, you need to assume that, or you need to say that all the unit testing should be completed. Wherever the metric that it need to go, everywhere the data should be flown, everywhere should be recorded properly. Integration goals. What are all the goals, or what are all the aim that you are having it? Interface is correct. That is, whether you are just combining two particular modules, whatever the interface that you are using, whatever the combination that you are using, whether it is correct or not. Next one is correct function across the units. It is not for that everything. Simple example I'll give you with respect to this. Okay, you have designed, you want to design a project where you are working with the database also, where why database need to be why database is required? For organizing your entire data in a structural format, you require a database. That's a very simple answer that I can give you. So with respect to that, lot of operations, lot of transactions will happen. You need to operate from the front end. Front end in the sense, any one of the high level language, you need to use it. With respect to that particular high level language, you need to communicate with the database management system tool. Now, how to do it? So first of all, you need to have, because the high level language does not understand your database tool language, that is query language. For that, you require an interface. And what you'll be doing is, you'll be designing the database separately, and you'll be designing the front end separately, and you'll be just keeping it. What is the design that you'll be doing it with respect to your high level languages? Just a text box, or whatever the necessary widgets that you want to design it, whatever the widgets that has been listed in the requirement phase, all those particular things you'll be just placing it. If it is empty, what need to be done? If it is non-empty, if it is of a particular pattern, then how it need to behave, everything you have recorded, everything you have tested it. There is no problem. Now your database is also ready, table name along with the attributes, how many attributes you require based on your requirement specification, you have done it. The next step is you need to integrate those two things. Suppose while integrating, if you want to retrieve the information that has been stored in the database, for that, you need to have a bridge, you need to have an interface for that. That interface is nothing but your driver interface you'll be having it. That is very, very important to know. Why I gave you this example is, you have already done, you have undergone this particular project also. So you have you know something about this, so that's why I took this particular thing as an example. So it will be giving you a better understanding when we'll be dealing with respect to your integration testing assumptions. Understanding it. So unit testing is only testing the front end design with respect to the high level language. The other part is with respect to database. If you enter, if you insert, it will be inserted. If you select, it will be retrieving the data. Everything is happening. Now the thing is, you need to integrate both the things so that whatever the front end or whatever the high level language that you are having, it from that you can interact with the data to the database. That is, from the database, you can just try to have a communication with respect to it. For that, you cannot do it alone. You require an interface. What is that require? What is the interface that you will be having it? It's a driver that is very important to know it. It's a bridge. That bridge you need to just build it. So it should be commonly understanding, or it should be translating your high level language to a database aware language. From the database aware language to the high level language, it should be communicating with. So for that, we require an interface. So that interface we are having it. Now the question here is, interfaces correct functions across the units. That's what I'm just talking about. Correct function across the unit. That means for selection, that is for retrieving the data, if it is functioning well, then it should happen for the updation as well as insertion as well as some other particular transactions, whatever you are just doing with respect to that particular database. If it is not resulting, then there is some problem with respect to that particular scenario. It can understand only one communication, that is, whatever the retrieval can happen, it can retrieve it. For updating or for changing or for inserting a new values or deleting the values, it may not be having the APIs that is necessary. So you need to just identify. So what it will be doing, fault isolation support. That is, it will isolate the number of faults that you are having it. It will not just detect it. After detecting, it will separate those type of errors. Say for example, here in this particular scenario, you may get one type of runtime error. That is nothing but, which is a runtime error while communicating from your high level language to a database aware language, that is query language. You will be getting one particular type of runtime error. What is a runtime error? That is a fault because you are using a bridge. If the bridge is not known to if the bridge is known to only your high level language, not to your not supported with respect to your database tool that you are using, means it's of no use. So it will display database communication cannot happen. Yes or no? So the same thing. So it will isolate it. It will isolate. So you cannot communicate anything with respect to your database itself. So you are separate and that is separate. So that's how it will be working. So this will happen with respect to your integration assumptions. Next, we'll go with the last part of it, that is system assumptions. What is the system assumptions? Whatever the integration that you are doing. Okay, you are not going to build that particular database project with respect to one particular page itself or one form itself. You will be having n number of forms. Each one of it should be navigated one after the other. So that is what you call it as a system. So in that particular case, with respect to each one of the communication from the front end design to the query language, whatever you are doing, if you just move on, if you just extend your particular forms, it should be resulting in the same particular thing. And test should occur at the port boundary. That is what we are aiming at. We are going to deal with respect to your hostel management, with respect to the hostels, whatever the things that is available, with respect to only those inputs we need to work for. We cannot worry about the remaining things. Next, the system goals, if you are just looking into it, correct system functions. If you say room should be available, means room availability, it should show. It should not show, you need to choose the rooms for it. Understanding it. Room availability, after checking that only, you can just go with the selection of the room. So this is what the correct functionality is there. So that will be taken care. And non-functional requirements will be tested. That is, your entire particular structural testing will be done over here. Structural testing is nothing but entire particular scenario where the data flows. How the data, okay, you have selected this room. If you selected this room, what is the thing that you need to do? So which particular room that you have selected, based on that, what is the price of it? So what is the based on that price, your hostel mess fee and your fee will be fixed with respect to it. So that is how it will be, it need to be checked with respect to it. Next one is, the customer should understand what are all the plans that they have, what are all the things that they are having it. It should be visible enough to the customer, and he should be satisfied enough to book his hostel room. That's what it will be there with respect to this particular system assumptions and goals. Next, we'll just go with the approaches to integration testing. source of test cases, that's what we are saying it. So with respect to this integration testing, with respect to functional decomposition, if you are just going to deal with it at that particular point of time, see, integration testing can happen in functional as well as non-functional scenario. So with respect to your functional scenario, there are four different scenarios. Normally, three scenarios will be just taken care. One is top-down approach. That is right from the right from the top. One particular module is that will be divided into several categories, and each category it will be just asking the output of it. Second one is bottom-up approach. From the bottom, it will be just taking care. Next one is mixture of your top-down and bottom-up. Both the things will happen. That is called a sandwich. The last one is big bang. Will just not have a lot of theorems that is coming under your big bang. We'll just take care about it later. Okay, don't worry about it. Top down, bottom up, sandwich, bang, big bang. So these are all the four functional decomposition that you are having it with respect to your integration testing. With respect to your structural way, if you want to do it, integration testing means call graph is that. That is pairwise integration. With respect to your particular entire module, you will be having one call graph, one particular program graph for it. The path, whatever you are identifying, everything is similar. So with respect to that, next what it will be doing, with respect to how it will be performing, with respect to the next communication. Connection established. There should be a message displayed. After connection established message only, you need to communicate with respect to insertion, deletion, or updation, or need to be done. So that is the message. Based on that, it will be traveling to the next particular party. So that is nothing but your pairwise integration. Next one is neighborhood integration. Who is the next particular form that I need to just look into it? With respect to that, how it need to go. That is your neighborhood integration is all about. So with respect to your call graph or your particular program graph that you are writing it, with respect to that, you will be having one type of path testing, which is nothing but which comes under your non-functional testing or decomposition part. That is your structural testing or structural decomposition part. Under that, instead of DD path, we have MM path, model to model or module to module path testing, we'll say it. So this is how it will be generated or it will be available with respect to your integration testing. One by one, we'll just take it. First, we'll go with functional decomposition testing. So with respect to your functional decomposition applies best to a procedural code. Whatever the code is there, with respect to that, whatever how the particular input will be taken into consideration with respect to the input, how the input will be applied with. So based on that, it will be applied. Whereas call graph and your MM graph, it will be applied for your procedural. That is one after the other, whatever the procedure is there, you will be following it. Along with it, object oriented. Any object you are calling it, any reference you are making it, that reference also will be taken into consideration. So call graph and your MM path will work with respect to both procedural and object oriented, whereas functional decomposition works with procedural. Whatever you assume it, depending on that. We continue with respect to our example. One example we will be taking it that is called as calendar program. So one calendar program we are developing. What is the thing that we are doing it? So date in the form of mm, dd followed by yy will be just accepting it. What are all the functions that it will be containing? First one is the date of the next day. Our particular old friend or whatever the date that we will be having it, birth date or any other particular important date that you need to just have it. For that date of the next day, I need to have that particular thing. Day of the week corresponding to the date. Whatever the date that I am just finding it, that particular dates day you need to just have it. Today's date is 21st. 21st, what is the day? Thursday. So that is what it need to be giving it to you as the output. Next one is zodiac sign of the date. So with respect to Thursday, whatever the zodiac sign that you will be having, that zodiac sign you need to just retrieve it. For that, I need to just write a pseudocode. No problem at all. I need to just have that particular scenario. Next one is most recent year in which Memorial Day was celebrated on May 27th. May 27th, whatever is that, in the recent year, if you have uh, celebrated any particular celebrations, if you have made it, means then that particular thing is called as memorable, which is a very memorable event that has happened in the May 27th in the recent years. It may be 2018, it may be 2017 or 2019, whatever, recent years, whatever is that, not upcoming years, recent years. Or in an upcoming year also it can happen. So with respect to your recent years, it may be plus or minus. With respect to that, you need to just get that. The most recent Friday, the 13th. The 13th particular date, if you are having it, with respect to that, so most recent Friday, whichever is that, so that should be reflected. So different functionalities we have. So now, with respect to that, each one of it, we need to have a procedure writing for that What is the first thing is with respect to the calendar, first function is whether it's a leap or not. You need to check for it. With respect to the leap year or not, then you need to create a procedure or a function for weekday identification. Get the date. Date whenever is that function is valid date or invalid date. With respect to that, what is a valid date? If it is a valid date, then the last day of the month you need to just get it. Procedure for get the digits. What is this particular digits? We need to have it because you will be having a lot of numbers that will be going with respect to it, right? So that particular number, if you want to get it, means then you need to have a particular thing called as digits. For that, get digits is a procedure that has been given. Next, one more particular procedure has been given over here, memorable day. With respect to memorable day, function is Monday or Tuesday or something like that. They have just given it. Next, procedure for the Friday 13th. Function, is it Friday the 13th particular date or not? So that is what they have just given it. Next date, that is once if it is done, once the particular date has been given, it need to give you the next date for that particular reason. Next one is procedure for zodiac. Zodiac signs, whatever is available with respect to that particular day, which zodiac they are having it. For that, you need to require a write a function for zodiac sign. Okay, so this is how it will be available. Next one is this decomposition is nothing but your top-down decomposition. So calendar main is that under this particular main you have listed several particular functions. One is leap year, another one is weekday, get day. With respect to your get day, you need to get the digits as well as you need to check for valid date or not. If the valid date is there, last day of the month you need to just get it. Once it is done, date of the day number, that is whatever is that particular date you need to get it. That's all it just function it. Zodiac, it will be functioning separately. Next date, whenever is that, so at that time, day with respect to the number to the date, whichever the date that is that, next date should be displayed over there. 13th Friday is Friday, you need to check it. Whereas with respect to your memorable day, is Monday is a memorable or Tuesday is memorable, Thursday is memorable, I need to check for it. So for that particular thing, I just identified several functionalities. This is the complete architecture of your top-down approach with respect to your integration testing. So once you design a particular product, you need to get this particular design for it. Once you have identified the modules, you need to just get into the right proper available tree structure. Once the tree structure is ready, it will be easy for us to identify. See, first setup is top-down integration. Top-down integration in the sense, from the calendar main function, it will be calling all the particular function that is coming under that particular belt. That is gray color, whatever they have just listed it. The block has been marked as gray color, right? Background is gray, right? So those units are called as stubs. What is this particular stubs? It is nothing but the functions that you have decided or you have just called it. So where it will be referencing it to. So it will be returning some correct values. This level checks the main program logic, whether the main program, whatever you have written, whether it is working properly or not, it will be checking. Next one, suppose weekday stub. If you are checking for a weekday stub, you are designed or you have just programmed for your weekday. Weekday stub goes with respect to your month, date, year exception as well as day name, which day it will be available. With respect to the month 10th and followed by date as 28 and the year is 2013, then the day name will be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, like that you'll be just giving it, right? So these are all the things that you'll be just doing it with respect to your weekday stub. Weekday stub in the sense weekday function. Okay, so with respect to it, what it will do, next 3 steps will be done. So this is the first step is, it will be nothing but it will be checking for each one of the particular thing, whether it retrieves the right particular output or not. Easily, whether it is true or false, it need to retrieve. Weekday, whether it is a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we need to retrieve it. Get date, it need to get the date of that particular value. Zodiac symbol or zodiac sign, you need to just get the value. Next date, next immediate date, whatever the date that you have specified, next date, you need to just get it. Friday, whether it is important, whether it is a 13th Friday or not, I need to just check it. So next one is memorable. 13th of the particular month is a Friday or not, I need to check it. If it is yes, true or false, you need to just retrieve it. Memorable day in a similar fashion, just go on. So this is how it will be working. Next one will go with the top-down integration mechanism. With respect to that, it will be just taking the traversal of breadth first traversal of the functional decomposition. What is this breadth first? You have studied with respect to your BFS, DFS, and all those. Breadth first, whatever it will be taking care, it will be just going to take care about one particular starting point. From there, it will start with the maximum number of which is a next nearest neighbor that it is available. In the next nearest neighbor, whatever the particular thing is there, it will just cross verify. Then it will move to the next one, next one, next one. Like that, it will be just taking care. First step is check the main program logic with all call units replaced by stubs that always return correct values. Next, move down one level. That is next level. With respect to your weekday, you have so many other particular things to do. Get date, you have a lot of things that you can do with. Next date, followed by uh, Friday 13th, followed by memorable day. All those particular things, one level below, you will be having some other particular chances to take care. Now you talk about those particular things. That's how your particular top-down approach will be dealt. Next one is bottom-up approach. This is a reverse of top-down integration. Start at leaves of the functional decomposition tree. Leaves of the functional decomposition tree means it will start from this particular leaf. That is date to day number with respect to your get date. Then it will be going backwards. Similarly, get digits, it will get it and it will get the date, followed by it will go with the main particular program. From the step, it starts and it will be ending with respect to main program. That's how it will be just taken care with respect to your bottom-up approach. Call next level. So what it will be doing is here we'll not call it as a steps or something like that. Instead of it, we'll just go with the driver events. Possible, I'll just yeah, show you. See here, first driver is this one. I need to just get back to the main driver that it will be having. So who will be driving this particular scene? So from the date to day number, it will just go with the last day of the month. From this, the output will be taken care and it will be checking with respect to your is valid date. So from this, the get date will be taken care, and from the get date, it will be just moving to the calendar main. So this is how it will be done with respect to it. Bottom-up integration for your zodiac. From the zodiac, it will be just taking care with respect to your calendar main function. It will be just giving you the output. Next one is sandwich integration. What is a sandwich integration? It is a combination of both. It is combination of your top-down as well as bottom-up. So you have a stub as well as a driver. Both the things are available. Driver is nothing but who will be driving the entire particular code to the main particular fellow. Stubs are nothing but from the driver, all the particular instructions will be taken care with respect to your functionality. So from the driver, you will be getting the call to the stub. From the stub, once it is finishing, it will be returning back to the resultant. Here, the main thing is the stub. From the stub, it will be driving back all the particular outputs to the main driver. So that's how it will be just done. So with respect to this bottom-up and top-down approaches, it will be nicely understood if we can understand nice thing with respect to your depth first traversal scenario. What is this depth first traversal? With respect to your BFS, it is breadth first search. Breadth first search will be taking care means it will be a different scenario. What it will be doing is it will be just checking for who are all the neighbors or who is the neighbor, next neighbor that I am having it. So with respect to that, what is the number or what are all the things that it will be just taking care, depending on that it was functioning. Whereas with respect to your depth first search, it will go to the first particular scenario. With respect to that, what are all the things that it is having, each one of that particular scenario will be finished. Once it is finished, then it will come back to the main function. See, simple thing, I'll just explain you. See here, so with respect to your calendar function. So with respect to your top-down approach, it was functioning with respect to your e-sleep. Next, it was going with weekday. Next, it was going with day, get date, followed by the rest of it. Whereas with respect to your bottom-up approach, it is a different scenario. Leaf node, which is the least leaf node that is available with respect to your get date. So it will not call your particular e-sleep or weekday will be checked. It will be going to check with respect to your get date. In that, day to get day number, whatever is that, that will be checked. After that, it will be just taking care with respect to your get number. Once this is done, then it will be going with get digits, followed by date to date. Is Monday or is Friday, whatever is that, that particular memorable day as well as the Friday 13th particular day will be fixed. So once it is done, it will be taken care. So both the things combination is nothing but your sandwich. One path from the root to leaf, the other path with respect to your a reverse path. So all the things will be taken care, and whatever the isolation that you are just taking care with respect to your sandwich integration, no, it will be just hard for us to identify. It will be a complex one. It will not be the same resultant whatever we have just seen it. So sample of sandwich, that is what they have just given it. Sandwich is nothing but both the things should be done properly. So calendar will call the get date. From the get date, you need to just get the valid date. With respect to the valid date, last date of the month, with respect to it, date will be just taken care. Once again, the reverse of it. Once it gets to the get date, it need to check for the get digits, and then it need to go with the calendar function. Check with the value. This is how it will be done. Big bang integration. Nowhere concerned with respect to it. Everything will be done on its own. It will be based on the threads. I'll give the threads for each one of it. Each one of it should be representing or giving the output separately during the different call of the function. So nowhere it is concerned with it. Each one of it having a different thread with respect to the same time, you'll be getting the output of it. This is your big bang integration is all about. So no stubs, driver, strategy. Everything will function on its own, or it will be isolated. Every functionality is isolated. So it will be based on that particular output, you need to just decide. So it is very fast. You can execute it very fastly. There is no problem at all. But one thing is the difficulty of fault isolation will be higher when compared to your previously available techniques. With respect to top-down, bottom-up approach, it is very easy to isolate the fault. But with respect to your Big Bang as well as sandwich, it is far difficult when compared to your previous two techniques. Pros and cons, that's what they have just given it with respect to your decomposition-based integration. So that is nothing but your advantages. Intuitively clear. So to somewhat extent, it will be clear because your top-down and bottom-up approach, it is easy for us to give that and build with proven components. That is, whatever the components that we have, based on that only, we'll just build it. Fault isolation varies with the number of units being integrated. That's what. With respect to your top-down and bottom-up approach, it is easy. Whereas with respect to your Big Bang as well as with respect to your sandwich, if the number of components differs, depending on that, the complexity of identifying the fault as well as isolating it becomes difficult. The disadvantages that we have based on the a purely structural consideration, that is with respect to whatever the structure that we have, with respect to that only we need to just work on it. So if the structure is different, means your entire scenario will be changing, and whatever the branches that you are having it, so may not correspond with the actual interfaces that we are having it. A stub driver development can be extensive. Whatever the steps, how to remember it, which stub is that, which is the driver. So many maybe it may be a stub or it may be a driver. How to remember it? That will be a problem with respect to decomposition based integration technique. Integration happens with respect to your three scenarios. One is with respect to your functional way. Functional way, top down, bottom up, followed by sandwich, followed by Big Bang. Whereas with respect to your non-functional things, call graph followed by uh, paths will be having it. So path will be just considered. So we'll take the rest of the things in the next class probably. Okay. So this ends today's class. So any doubt is there, you can just ask me, or else I'll just wind up the class. Thanks for attending the classes. So hoping that whatever I'm just delivering it, it is reachable for you. All these particular videos, I'll just post it in the YouTube. Once again, you go through it. I'm telling you, with respect to listening, with respect to one time will not help you. You need to work. If you don't have the textbook, the soft copy of the textbook has been already sent to you. Download it. Try to read it more than once. Then you'll come to know. The classes, if you attend, the advantage that you have is you will be getting more examples to write it in the examination. If you elaborate your answers, then whatever the things that you make points with respect to textbook, whatever you have listened, if you combine it, it will be a huge score. You can score good marks in your exams. So that's why better to attend all the classes. Don't miss anything until and unless you don't have technical problem like your network problem is not an issue. Try to attend the classes. Okay, with this I'll stop here. So And one more thing, tomorrow there will be no lab exercises. Saturday afternoon, I'll just take the lab exercises part. Two programs are that will just wind up in that particular Saturday session. Saturday afternoon, I'm going to take the class, or else if you are free early, you call me, I'll just take the class. Okay, hardly I require half an hour for each of the program. Two classes, two different sessions will wind up the entire seminar. Okay, so that's all for today. So we'll just stop here and take leave. Okay, thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe.